We start with the budget session that's starting on Friday. On Saturday, the union budget will be tabled by the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, and Waqf bill is listed for the budget session. A bill for illegal immigrants is also listed. All party met ahead of the budget on Thursday. The centre has sought cooperation from the opposition, and the opposition has raised several issues, including the fact that the Waqf JPC did not heed to their demands. JDU, in fact, could demand the extension of Waqf JPC. The session, as I mentioned, will begin on Friday.
The stage is all set for the budget session to begin tomorrow, and the spotlight is of course going to be on Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on the kind of relief measures she announces for specifically the middle class, and also the kind of boost that she gives to different sectors, including agriculture, innovation, all of that. But today's all-party meeting that you rightly pointed out does give an insight into what this budget session could look like, because the opposition MPs have made it very clear that they'll be coming together to ask the government some very difficult questions on what really happened in Mahakumbh that also led to the deaths of 30 people. Samajwadi Party has made it very clear that there's nothing called Mahakumbh. In fact, it's just a kumbh, and it is basically the government's way of attracting more pilgrims that is also driving it towards a lot of PR. That's what the party has alleged. Congress party has also made it very clear that they will be talking about the Mahakumbh alleged mismanagement, the UGC bill, the situation in Manipur, and also the falling rupee, and a couple of other things that they believe are threatening the constitutional values of the country. And more importantly, the way the JPC on Waqf bill operated is something that's of concern to the opposition, because if you remember, the opposition MPs have come together to say that their voices have not been heard. Well, of course, the bill, the report has been submitted to the Speaker today by the JPC. It has 14 changes to the original bill, but of course the opposition MPs have alleged that none of the changes that they recommended to the original bill have been accommodated. So that clearly is also going to be a flashpoint. But the spotlight is on the budget and two important bills. One that you pointed out, the Waqf bill is going to come, and that's going to be a bone of contention because the centre is projecting this as a move of transparency and a move to make Waqf properties completely accountable and transparent, while the opposition says that this is a clear violation of constitutional rights given to Muslims to not just build their places of worship and also places that are associated with their traditions, but also to manage them. So clearly that is going to be a bone of contention. The other thing that is expected is the immigration bill that's also listed as part of legislative business. That is also something that could be the government's way of taking on this challenge of illegal immigration in India, including Rohingyas. We'll have to wait and see as to what the final draft of the bill says. But as of now, the presidential address tomorrow and the economic survey that would come somewhere in the afternoon, which will also give us an idea about the financial health of the country and also how we have performed on our social indicators and what our targets should be for the next year.
आज सब पार्टियों ने अपने अपने पार्टी का मुख्य स्टैंड और कुछ इश्यूज है, उन्होंने अनुरोध किया है कि पार्लियामेंट में इसका चर्चा होना चाहिए। तो आप सबको मालूम है, क्योंकि ये बजट सत्र है, तो राष्ट्रपति का अभिभाषण और बजट पर चर्चा होने के बाद कोई बहुत ही अर्जेंट इश्यू आएंगे तो उस पर भी बीएसी में बैठ करके इसका निर्णय किया जाएगा। ये उम्मीद करते हैं कि साल का पहला पार्लियामेंट सेशन बहुत सार्थक रहेगी और सारे पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज की ओर से पार्टिसिपेशन, कोऑपरेशन और कोऑर्डिनेशन मिलेगा, ऐसा उम्मीद है।
बीजू जनता दल और हमारे नेता श्री नवीन पटनायक जी की ये मंशा है, ये कोशिश है कि इस सत्र में उड़ीसा को कैसे स्पेशल कैटेगरी स्टेट का दर्जा दिया जाए, उस डिमांड को हम जोरदार करेंगे, पार्लियामेंट के अंदर और पार्लियामेंट के बाहर।
संसद में कुछ भी हो, लेकिन समितियों के अंदर दलीय आधार पर कभी कोई फैसले नहीं होते। कभी एक बार भी ऐसा अवसर नहीं आया किसी कमेटी में कि कोई विवाद हुआ हो या किसी ने नोट ऑफ डिसेंट दिया। लेकिन अब तो स्थिति ये है कि वक्फ बोर्ड में विपक्षी सदस्यों द्वारा लाए गए एक भी संशोधन को स्वीकार नहीं किया गया और सत्ता पक्ष की तरफ से लाए गए सारे संशोधन स्वीकार कर लिए।
Amid the dispute between the Delhi and Haryana governments over Yamuna water pollution, the Election Commission directed Aam Aadmi Party chief Arvind Kejriwal to submit factual evidence by 11 a.m. on Friday. Arvind Kejriwal said, drink the water if you dare. He said this to Election Commission, and that demanded proof to support his claims that BJP government in Haryana attempted genocide by mixing poison in the Yamuna water that's supplied to Delhi. The commission also sought answers to 5 questions, including what kind of poison was used, who detected its presence, and how and where it was found. Meanwhile, Amit Shah, while campaigning in Delhi, asked Kejriwal to tell people which poison was mixed in Yamuna. As per his claims, Rahul Gandhi also joined in the Yamuna war, alleging Kejriwal lied about cleaning the Yamuna.
केजरीवाल जी कौन सा जहर मिलाया है, जरा नाम कहिए। कौन सी लेबोरेटरी का टेस्ट है, नाम कहिए। आपने यमुना को प्रदूषित कर प्रदूषित पानी पीने के लिए दिल्ली को मजबूर किया है।
मैं इन लोगों को बोलना चाहता हूं कि आप दिल्ली के लोगों को जहरीला पानी भेज के उनकी हेल्थ के साथ, उनकी सेहत के साथ खिलवाड़ करना चाहते हैं, उनकी जिंदगी के साथ खिलवाड़ करना चाहते हैं। हाई अमोनिया का पानी जो है वो छोटे छोटे बच्चों के लिए इरिवर्सिबल डैमेजेस कर सकता है, और आप हमें धमकी दे रहे हैं कुछ करने की बजाय।
मैं चैलेंज देता हूं केजरीवाल जी, आप दिल्ली के लोगों को गंदा पानी पिलवाते हो, यमुना जी का पानी छोड़ो, यहां जो पानी मिल रहा है उसी को पी के दिखा दो।
Aam Aadmi Party leaders, including Chief Minister Atishi, are claiming that Election Commission of India officials and Delhi police attempted to raid Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Man's residence in Kapurthala House. Man, who has been campaigning for AAP in the upcoming Delhi Assembly elections, has a residence in Delhi's Kapurthala House. According to the returning officer from the Election Commission that went to the Kapurthala House, the poll body had received a complaint about money distribution on the C Vigil app. However, they were not allowed to enter the house, forcing them to escalate the matter.
गेट पे खड़े हैं हम लोग, अभी अंदर कह रहे पेरी पेरी में देख लीजिए, लॉक लगे थे कमरे में। वी कैन नॉट वेट टिल इटर्निटी, सो वी आर गोइंग बैक।
आगे क्या करेंगे?
सर ऑफिस जा रहा हूँ सर।
रिपोर्ट बनाएंगे इस पर?
हाँ सर, रिपोर्ट बनाएंगे सर।
तो आपका जो सर्च था वो खत्म हो गया?
क्या सर?
सर्च कर पाए आप?
नहीं हुआ सर।
वो शरेआम पैसे बांट रहा है, प्रवेश वर्मा क्या नाम है उसका, हाँ, तो वो दिखता ही नहीं है, नजर ही नहीं आता इनको। वो ट्वीट करके पैसे बांटता है कि आज मैं यहां पे पैसे बांटूंगा, तो उसका तो ध्यान नहीं है। भगवंत मान के घर पे रेड कर लो, केजरीवाल के घर पे रेड कर लो, सौरभ भारद्वाज को पकड़ लो, इसको नोटिस भेज दो, हम ही रह गए अपराधी भाई साहब।
Even as Uttarakhand became the first state in the country to implement UCC, Meghalaya Chief Minister Konark Sangma said that the implementation of Uniform Civil Code is neither practical nor appropriate given the country's diverse cultural and tribal communities. However, he acknowledged that certain aspects of the civil laws could be made uniform while protecting the rights of indigenous communities, pointing on Uttarakhand, which became the first state to implement the UCC while excluding tribal customs from its purview.
A uniform civil code as a concept of making sure that everything becomes uniform is not possible in India, because again there are tribal communities, there are different kind of communities, indigenous communities. So it depends on the content of the bill, what is going to be uniform and what way it's going to be uniform. For us, as a state government, we are very clear that uniform civil code is not in our agenda.
Time for a quick break on the show. More on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back. In a major success for the Indian Army, an infiltration attempt of terrorists have been foiled by the forces along the line of control. As per Indian Army, terrorist movement detected in Poonch sector along the line of control. The troops were alerted and they opened fire, leading to a heavy exchange of fire. Operations are still underway. NASA and its international partners have approved the crew for Axiom Space's 4th private astronaut mission to the International Space Station, launching from the agency's Kennedy Space Center in Florida, and it will start no earlier than spring 2025. If all goes well, in a few months, Group Captain Shubhranshu Shukla, the Indian astronaut designate, will be flying on board a joint ISRO-NASA mission to the International Space Station as a part of the Axiom 4 flight. NDTV's science editor, in fact, spoke to Shubhranshu Shukla on his ongoing training and will he be doing yoga in space.
Next in line is Pallava Bagla.
Namaskar and a grand welcome to the team from India. My name is Pallava Bagla. I'm the science editor at New Delhi Television. 2 questions, one for Group Captain Shukla. Group Captain Shukla, are you ready for the ride in near zero gravity? Have you prepared hard? What will be the experiments you do, and will you do some yoga in space like your idol Rakesh Sharma did in 1984? And also a little bit you should speak in Hindi. And the second question is for astronaut Peggy Wilson. First of all, congrats on the entry into the Hall of Fame. What is your biggest challenge for working with such a diverse crew who are all first-timers? Do they listen to you at all?
All right, we'll start with you, Shuts.
Namaskar, Bagla ji. Thank you for your question. It is great to hear from you. And to your first part, I am really excited to go into the microgravity and experience the space flight on my own. And the tempo for the mission has been building up each month. And I think we are at a stage wherein all the pieces are kind of coming together. And I'm extremely excited to see how this unfolds in the coming months and for the actual space flight as well. The second part of your question was regarding the training. We have been training for the past 4 and 5 months. I think that we are at a stage now that we understand the entire ConOps, the concept of operations. And going forward from here, it would mostly be repetition of the things that we have done. So we are really ready and we are confident in our abilities to execute this mission successfully. As for your third question about yoga, yes, that now that you have said, so I would probably demonstrate a few poses of yoga while we are up on the station. But a more important aspect is that we need to practice that while we are on ground so that we have a healthy body which can house a healthy mind and allows us to execute this mission in our full spirits, truly.
Tragedy struck when an American Airlines flight collided with a military helicopter over Washington, D.C., crashing into Potomac River near Reagan National Airport. The incident involved 64 passengers and crew on the plane and 3 soldiers on the helicopter, leading to a massive search and rescue operation. Early reports suggested no survivors, with 30 bodies having been recovered. President Donald Trump and local officials are closely monitoring the situation. While addressing the media, U.S. President Donald Trump said that military will carry out the investigation, and he also said that his prayers are with the affected families.
American Airlines regional jet carrying 60 passengers and 4 crew collided with an Army Black Hawk helicopter carrying 3 military service members over the Potomac River in Washington, D.C. The work has now shifted to a recovery mission. Sadly, there are no survivors. On behalf of the First Lady, myself, and 340 million Americans, our hearts are shattered alongside yours, and our prayers are with you now. The FAA and the NTSB and the U.S. military will be carrying out a systematic and comprehensive investigation. I signed something last week that was an executive order, very powerful, on restoring the highest standards of air traffic controllers.
In a significant development, Hamas released 8 hostages, including Thai workers and Israeli citizens. This is part of the ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas. This comes amid the ongoing truce, marking a pivotal movement in the negotiations. After a delay of a few hours, Palestinian prisoners were released. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has publicly welcomed the release of an IDF soldier, acknowledging the efforts in bringing another of their own home safely. This release is seen as a hopeful sign for further progress in the peace process. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu took to Twitter to thank US President Donald Trump. He wrote in fact, and I quote, "On behalf of Israel and the Jewish people, I thank President Donald Trump, his executive order to fight anti-Semitism and support for terrorism on American campuses. Thank you for standing up to truth and justice."